back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. It is trade season in the NFL, and obviously when your team is 2-6, you're making decisions. In baseball, they always say, are you a buyer or are you a seller? It's clear if the Browns do anything, they're not acquiring talent to help get them over the hump. There's no hump to get over. What they might be doing is selling off pieces for draft capital that they can help rebuild the team. I'm going to throw out some names that there's talk around. Jerry Jeudy, Joel Bitonio, Tevin Jenkins, Pochich is on the list, Teller, Njoku, Ford, Shelby Harris. Put Myles Garrett on there if you want to throw him in there, because there is some talk that Philly might be willing to give up a lot of first-round draft picks for him. Which of those names do you feel is most likely to be moved, and which of those names do you believe is most likely staying?
I think Jerome Ford is most likely to be moved because he's not really helping them now, and he's a free agent. They're not going to re-sign him. I don't even know if you can get. I mean, we're going to get a seventh-round pick for him. Right. I can't imagine
if you're lucky.
Much. Certainly, I would trade Jerry Jeudy if he could. I don't know why. I don't think anybody would take him. So I'll say he's the guy least likely to be moved, but because I just don't think anybody's going to trade for him.
Yeah, I don't even count Jerome Ford. Like, well, who's going to trade for Jerome Ford? Tevin Jenkins was one of their. That's crazy. The fact that Tevin Jenkins was one of their offseason picks, where your offensive line is playing horribly, and he's been a swing tackle. He played inside the guard. He can't even get on the field. So, I mean, I don't know what you're going to trade for him. David Njoku's name been mentioned a lot, but I'm going to just be honest with you about David Njoku. It looks like he's lost a lot of his athleticism. He's not running very well. You know, he's a guy who, all right, he's been here 9 years. You may be able to get something for him. Shelby Harris is a fringe guy, maybe, because Mike Hall Jr. is coming back. You could get something. But the reality of the situation is none of these dudes are going to be getting any – you're not going to get no value for any of these dudes above a fifth-round pick.
Yes, that is correct.
Absolutely.
If that. Max is what
I mean, Myles Garrett obviously is the guy that would get the haul, and that's the one that may make the most sense if you're trying to, build draft capital. And like we said on the YouTube show today, you're 2-6 with them.
I think the cap.
What are you without him?
The cap is so prohibitive to do that. In real time. There's a guy who does cap stuff says, because you are allowed to go over the cap to sign different players, it would be like losing $200 million in flexibility to sign other. And at that point, it's just like it makes it too punitive. Plus, I don't think you talked about it is. You talk to people in Philadelphia, they're like 3 first-round draft picks for Myles Garrett. Yeah. Nah, I'm cool on that.
By the way, you still got about $50 million next year on Watson cap at least. And David Njoku, Zach Jackson was just telling me this. Even if he's not here next year, David, which he probably won't be, David Njoku is a $20 million cap hit next year for the Browns.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of
Myles Garrett would be over 40 if they traded him.
We've had an ongoing conversation during the length of this show, which is 3+ years, I think, right? 2.5 years?
No, 2.5 years.
Okay, 2.5 years. About the cap is mythical, that it doesn't really hurt you. And I think in the short term, that is proven to be true. And I did not believe that before. But I have seen that is, you can manipulate that number, and you can get by if you're over the cap. However, what I've also learned is it is very much a real thing. At some point, you're paying the piper.
It is if you screw up the money. Like the Eagles, they always spend, and it doesn't hurt them because they get it right.
They know how to work the system.
Yeah.
We have made so many bad deals that if we could, we would jump out of right now. Chief among them, Deshaun Watson. Those things are killer if you try to cut weight on them now.
If Deshaun Watson is the quarterback that we thought he was going to be,
then it's fine.
Then we would never be talking about it.
I agree.
But he's the complete opposite.
I'll throw my names out. Njoku is the most likely to be traded. You say, what is he worth? Well, now we know he's not worth anything to us because he's not the best tight end on our team.
Yeah.
David Njoku could be the best tight end on a playoff caliber team that needs a tight end.
Right. He could be.
He is slower. He's not fit. But I do think that teams would still be enamored by the name and what he could add to their team. What could he get you? 6th, maybe 7th round. That's it.
I think it's possible you get a 5th for him.
I'd be shy. If you get a 5th, do it now. Do it now.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
The guy that's going nowhere is Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
You couldn't trade him if you paid his salary. You couldn't trade him.
No.
So that's not happening.
Right